It's Tuesday night. You're tired. And there, on the middle shelf of your fridge, is last night's dinner. Still in the container. Still good. So you do what any reasonable person does. You pop it in the microwave, hit the button, and 90 seconds later, you've got a hot meal with zero effort. Smart, practical, no waste. Except for a handful of very common foods, that second trip through the heat quietly changes them. Not the taste, not the smell, the actual chemistry. And a few of those changes are exactly the kind you don't want building up in your body, meal after meal, year after year. Now, before you swear off leftovers forever, don't. Reheating food is not some silent killer. No matter what the scary headlines say, most of your leftovers are completely fine. But there are a specific few foods where how you reheat them and how many times genuinely matters for your health. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly which 5 to watch, what they turn into, and the simple way to handle each one so you get to keep your leftovers and stay on the safe side. Let me show you what's really going on, because the truth here is more useful and honestly more interesting than the fear. Here's the thing nobody explains properly. Reheating by itself doesn't magically create cancer. If you hear someone say, "Microwaving your dinner gives you cancer," you can tune them out. That's not how it works. What actually matters is chemistry. Certain foods contain certain compounds, natural fats, natural nitrates, certain starches, and when you hit some of those compounds with high heat a second time, they transform into new ones. And a few of those new compounds are ones scientists have linked over long-term repeated exposure to inflammation and higher cancer risk. It's not one meal. It's not one reheat. It's the same, slightly harmful process, repeated hundreds of times, that adds up. So, this isn't about fear. It's about knowing which foods play by different rules and giving your body a little less of the stuff it doesn't need. Let's go through the 5. Number 1. And this is the one people underestimate the most. Oil. Specifically, cooking oil that gets heated again and again, and the fried, oily foods that carry it. Here's what happens. Oils, especially the common vegetable and seed oils that are high in polyunsaturated fats, are delicate. When you heat them to high temperatures, they start to break down and oxidize. Reheat them, and that breakdown speeds up, producing compounds called aldehydes, along with free radicals. Aldehydes are exactly the kind of reactive compound researchers have connected to inflammation and cancer risk when you're exposed to them regularly. This is why that pan of oil you keep reusing for frying, batch after batch, gets worse every time, and why blasting yesterday's fried chicken or fries with high heat, again, isn't doing you any favors. The safer way. Don't reuse frying oil over and over. And when you reheat oily or fried leftovers, go low and slow. A gentle warm-up in the oven or air fryer, not a screaming hot second fry. Number 2, starchy foods. Potatoes, bread, and anything fried and crispy like fries or hash browns. When you cook starchy foods at high temperatures, they form a compound called acrylamide, and when you reheat them hot again, especially to the point of browning or crisping, you can create even more of it. Why does that matter? Acrylamide is classified by international cancer researchers as a probable human carcinogen. That doesn't mean one French fry is dangerous. It means it's a compound you don't want to be loading up on repeatedly at high levels for years. There's a second issue with potatoes specifically. If you cook them and then leave them sitting out at room temperature before reheating, they can turn into a breeding ground for bacteria. The safer way: refrigerate starchy leftovers promptly. Reheat them just until hot, not charred, not deep browned, and go easy on that crispy second time around temptation. Number 3, and this one surprises almost everyone: leafy green vegetables, especially spinach, along with things like beets and celery. These are naturally high in nitrates, which on their own are harmless, even beneficial. But here's the catch. When you reheat these greens, those nitrates can convert into nitrites, and nitrites can go one step further into compounds called nitrosamines, which are considered potential carcinogens. So the very spinach that's a health food when it's fresh becomes a little more problematic once it's been cooked, stored, and blasted with heat a second time. The safer way is beautifully simple. Eat these greens fresh, or enjoy the leftovers cold. Think spinach in a salad instead of a reheated side. If you must warm them, do it once, gently, and don't let them sit out. Number 4 is the one that can actually make you sick the fastest: rice. And pasta belongs here too. This one isn't about cancer, it's about food poisoning, and it's far more common than people realize. Uncooked rice can carry spores of a bacterium called Bacillus cereus. Cooking the rice does not kill those spores. And here's the dangerous part. If that cooked rice is left sitting at room temperature, the spores wake up, multiply, and produce toxins, and those toxins are heat stable, which means reheating the rice, no matter how hot, does not destroy them. You can heat leftover rice until it's steaming and still get sick. The safer way, and please take this one seriously: cool cooked rice quickly. Get it into the fridge within about an hour. Keep it no more than a day or so, and when you reheat it, make sure it's piping hot all the way through. Once. And number 5, the one with maybe the strongest evidence behind it: processed meats. Bacon, sausage, hot dogs, deli meats, ham. These are already on the radar of cancer researchers even before you reheat them. Processed meat is classified as a definite carcinogen when eaten regularly, mainly linked to colorectal cancer. They're preserved with nitrites, and when you cook and then reheat them at high heat, you encourage the formation of those same nitrosamines we just talked about, plus other compounds that form when meat is cooked hot and hard. So that leftover sausage or bacon getting a second high heat blast is stacking a risky food on top of a risky process. The safer way: keep processed meats an occasional thing rather than a daily staple. And when you do reheat them, keep the heat gentle instead of crisping them into oblivion. Now let me be honest with you, because this is where a lot of health videos go off the rails. You may have seen this exact topic framed as, "These foods give you pancreatic cancer." I'm not going to tell you that because the science doesn't actually say it. No single reheated food gives you pancreatic cancer, or any cancer on its own. Cancer is complicated. The biggest drivers of pancreatic cancer specifically are things like smoking, obesity, heavy alcohol use, diabetes, and a diet heavy in processed and red meat. What these 5 foods have in common is that, handled carelessly and eaten this way constantly, they add a small, repeated dose of compounds your body is better off without. That's the honest version. It's not, one meal will hurt you. It's, why keep giving your body the harmful version when the safe version is this easy? And that's really the whole point. None of this is about a single dinner. It's about the pattern. The person who reuses the same frying oil for a month, eats crispy reheated starches every day, warms up the same spinach and processed meat over and over, and lets rice sit out on the counter all afternoon. That person is quietly running a small harmful process thousands of times over the years. Nobody notices it on any given Tuesday, and that's exactly why it's worth knowing. Small, invisible, repeated the same way, good habits quietly work in your favor. Careless ones quietly work against you. So, here's everything you actually need to remember. And it's simpler than it sounds. Rule 1. Reheat food a maximum of once. Every extra trip through the heat is another round of these reactions. Rule 2. Store leftovers properly and fasten to the fridge within about an hour. Not left out on the counter for the afternoon. Rule 3. When you do reheat, aim for hot enough to be safe, not charred and crispy. Gentle heat, no burning, no deep refrying. Rule 4. For the tricky ones, nitrate-rich greens and processed meats, either eat them cold or keep the reheating gentle and rare. Rule 5. With rice, be strict, cool it fast, fridge it quick, eat it soon, heat it once. Do those 5 things, and you've handled the vast majority of the risk without giving up your leftovers at all. Let me be straight with you one more time. This isn't about living in fear of your microwave or throwing out every leftover. Reheating food is safe, normal, and a great way to cut down on waste. The goal here is just to be smart about a specific handful of foods. And nothing in this video is medical advice. If you have specific health concerns or a condition that affects your diet, talk to your doctor or a registered dietitian. The point isn't panic. It's a few small, easy swaps. So the next time it's Tuesday night, you're tired, and last night's dinner is sitting there on the fridge shelf, go ahead and eat it. Reheating your leftovers was never the enemy. Just remember which few foods play by different rules. Heat it once, heat it gently, store it right, and save the crispy charred second time around for never. It's such a small set of habits that it feels like it couldn't possibly matter. But stretched across thousands of meals, the safe version, every time, is one of the quietest, easiest gifts you can give your future body. And now you know exactly how.